I saw Spider-Man Far From Home, and boy am I glad that I'm no longer an awkward teenager and definitely a well-adjusted, not at all awkward adult. Without further ado, let's talk movies. I saw Spider-Man Far From Home with Cassidy Quinn. If you don't know who Cassidy Quinn is, she has a 7 p.m. show on KGW called Tonight with Cassidy, and it is very fun, so you should follow her on social media. But let's just get right into it. This is before we walked into the theater.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Hey guys. Okay, so I'm here with Destiny. A date with Destiny, as I would like to think of it.
Never
we're
heard that
outside
before.
of the movie theater right now. I know, never. So original, right? So we're outside of the movie theater. We're getting ready to go see Spider-Man Far From Home, and you have the perfect shirt for it.
Yes, thank you.
Now I brought you along because you are our official, like, comic, Marvel, movie expert guru at KGW. How excited are you for this movie?
Thank you. It's lovely to be paid to be a nerd. I'm pretty excited. I'm really excited because I was telling you earlier that, you know, a lot of things ended with Endgame, and everybody was so excited to see that movie. So I'm excited to see where they're taking the Marvel franchise, because they're not just going to leave it there.
Right.
They're going to put it on the shoulders of young Peter Parker. We're going to find out.
Peter Parker, who you're a big fan of.
I am a big fan of.
Who is not, though, really?
Hello, Tom Holland.
How old is he? Like 20?
It's like 23. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, he's a man. Okay, so we last left the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe. I may have really only learned actually what that stood for when I saw Endgame, because I was like, yeah, I knew Marvel and I knew Universe, but then I didn't figure out what the C was. It confused me. But so Endgame happens, and that was put up as, oh, this is the end of the Avengers, is the final thing, but then it keeps going. So what happens?
So it looks like my hypothesis, mine and everybody on the internet's hypothesis, you know, it's going to open up a multiverse in this movie, because the bad guy Mysterio in this movie, he's from a different Earth, parallel universe.
Whoa.
And so that means that we can bring in a lot more characters from the comic books, if we open up the idea of other Earths, which gets complicated in movie
That's what
telling.
seems like. I mean, like, anything is possible. So, like, people died in Infinity War. Spoiler alert. But then, like, half of them are back.
Mm-hmm.
They come back in Endgame. So then people die, like Tony Stark. Spoiler alert. Died.
He did.
In Endgame. But will he be back? Is Robert Downey Jr. gonna be in this movie? No?
Is he gonna be in this movie?
Like hologram?
Like he may be some sort of hologram or something that he left for Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Because they definitely had like dad-son vibes, you know? But is he gonna be in the flesh in this movie? No, I don't think so. Robert Downey Jr.'s movie contracts expired.
That's what I thought. But then I was looking up on the internet today, and people seem to think like maybe he'll be in there. I don't know.
I think people are really hopeful that he'll make some sort of cameo, and it would be great if he was like a hologram or something, like we said, but I don't think he'll be here in the flesh, because I think that he's ready for a new franchise, and maybe if we get all of these new people, we'll have somebody who can take over the spot that the Avengers left in our hearts.
It's like the sky of Portland is crying in mourning for Tony Stark right now, because it just started raining really hard. You can probably hear it in our very professional audio quality. Is there anything else we need to, like, think? What are the big fan theories? Are there big fan theories for Spider-Man Far From Home? Oh my god, it's raining so hard right now.
Well, you know, in the trailers for this movie, you see Mysterio and he seems like a good guy, so a lot of people are like, oh, people who don't read the comics or people who aren't familiar with I don't know, the way things go, I guess. They're like, oh, why is Mysterio like seeming like a good guy, and what's gonna happen? So it'll be really interesting to see sort of either how he plays the good guy and the bad guy, or maybe he goes insane, like what the MCU does with him, and maybe we'll see we're definitely seeing some other like classic Spider-Man guys, bad guys, so that's really exciting too, because, you know, Spider-Man's been around for a long time. He's got a lot of good bad guys.
Been around a long time and been multiple people. It's like, now it's Peter Parker. Mm-hmm. Or, well, it's always Peter Parker. But now it's, what's in it? Tom Holland.
Yeah. And, you know, sometimes Spider-Man is Miles Morales, like he was in Into the Spider-Verse. And it's been Gwen Stacy, who, all sorts of things can happen.
So many Spider-Men.
Yeah. All hyphenated, though.
Yeah.
All hyphenated.
All the hyphenated Spider-Men is how you write that. Well, it's raining really hard. I was gonna say that means maybe we should stop recording, but that also would mean we have to get out of the car.
And I have to say, I really enjoyed that movie, but I think it's important that you take your Avenger Endgame expectations and throw them in the garbage, because this isn't Avengers Endgame. There's no super huge plot. It does address what happened in Endgame, and I think in a really skillful way, but I don't want you to think that there's gonna be some sort of epic blowout and like you're expecting all the tension that you had and all the heartbreak that you had for 3 hours in the Avengers Endgame theater, because I think we all need a breath, and if we need a breath, then poor Peter Parker really needs a vacation. But his vacation doesn't really go to plan. Of course it doesn't, because he's a superhero, and all he wants to do is just, you know, kiss MJ, touch mouths. But he has stuff to do, and this movie does such a good job of walking that line between the awkward and sweet, innocent teenage years, like when you have a crush and you fall in love with them immediately, or when you're pining after somebody, it's all you can think about. It becomes your main goal in life, and all you want to do is you just get like this tunnel vision. You're like, can I hold their hand? How do I get their attention? Are they looking at me? Oh my God, do they like me? Do they like me back? Are they looking at me because they like me? So glad I'm not a teenager anymore. I think that this movie did a really, really good job in sort of making Peter feel torn between those priorities, because any teenager would. Peter Parker is, I think, 16 years old, and he saw some stuff. And this movie does a really good job of sort of addressing that. He's not left without scars, and he's missing his mentor, Iron Man, Tony Stark, R.I.P. And he's also sort of struggling. He's struggling like normal teenagers struggle with like his crush on MJ and stuff. But he's also struggling because there's a hole now left, because the Avengers are not the Avengers anymore. And sort of he's gonna have to take on some of that responsibility. And what exactly does that mean? We get to see people like Nick Fury and Maria Hill, and that's all very, very exciting. And I think it was a good job on Marvel to bring in Mysterio for this movie, because we've seen a lot of iterations of Spider-Man. We've seen different actors playing Spider-Man. We've seen different bad guys, but we've never seen Mysterio. And they did a really good job with his storyline, and I can't spoil it for you. This is, of course, a spoiler-free review. But I think Jake Gyllenhaal did a great job on his first entrance into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And of course, Tom Holland doesn't need a compliment from some random person on the internet, but he did a great job playing a teenager and showing sort of the strife that might happen if something sort of so cataclysmic as the events of Endgame would happen to just like a normal teenager who's been bitten by a radioactive spider. You know what I mean, like normal-ish. Here's what Cassidy and I thought about it. Like I said, Cassidy doesn't have a ton of experience with the MCU movies, so it was really interesting to see that movie with her. She had questions that I couldn't answer. I had to direct her to other movies. I mean, I could answer it, but I don't want to spoil it for her, and I don't want to spoil it for you. So, you know, go see the film.
Like rambling notes.
Oh my God.
I was like talking to my phone as I was driving home. I was like, don't forget what happened in this movie, because that happens.
I did forget the second cutscene, and I was sitting at my desk. I mean, I can't talk about it anyway because
Right.
spoilers. But I was sitting at my desk like, oh my God, I've already forgotten. I literally saw last night you have lipstick on your teeth.
Oh God, thanks.
You're welcome.
Your lipstick like perfectly matches your shirt.
Thank you. I planned it.
Okay, so we're back from the movie. This is actually the next day because we got out of the movie. I don't know, I needed time to decompress, read a bunch of notes in my phone, and also it was late at night, and I'm becoming an old lady, so we're recording this today at work in the daylight. So I guess, what was your overall feeling about the movie? Did you like it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I gave it, 4 radioactive spiders out of 5, which is a
Ooh.
lot of radioactive spiders.
Okay.
Yeah. What did you think?
I hadn't thought of my rating system. I really liked it a lot. I really liked it from the get-go, because if you start an action superhero movie with the first 20 minutes looking like a rom-com, I'm all in. Like a teenage rom-com, specifically. I felt like I was back in high school. Everybody was super cute. And also, we did see the beginning twice.
Oh yeah, I
Because
didn't even mention that when
in true like Marvel epic fashion, what they told us is the lightning hit the movie theater or something. There was a power surge.
They then had a projector issue. They were like,
Yeah.
it's a power surge, but none of the lights went out. All that happened was we lost the picture and had the sound. So it was a projector
We could
issue.
hear Tom Holland. Like it was before you even saw him on the screen the
Yeah.
first time, and you could just hear his voice. We're like, maybe this is an effect. Maybe we're getting. You said a couple minutes before that, are we getting Rickrolled right now? Once you see the beginning of the movie, you'll think, wait, is this real? But I really liked the beginning, so I actually liked that we got to see it twice, because then I went back and noticed things. But eventually they did play the whole movie.
Yes. We did get to see the whole film. It was great.
I was gonna be really disappointed if we only saw the first 2 minutes and then they couldn't figure it out.
Or they were like, that's all you get to see before
Yeah.
it comes out.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, I watched Captain Marvel when I got home last night.
You did? Oh my god, you said it
I was
late.
like, because when we walked out of the movie, I had multiple questions for Destiny, and she couldn't actually answer them. I was like, okay, but what about this? What about this? And she said, if you'd seen Captain Marvel, you would know what happened in this and what that's referring to. So I've seen Captain Marvel, but it did not hook me from the beginning in the same way that this one did, because it was very superhero, hardcore. We are in space or wherever they are, and it's all like, oh, superhero movie. This one I liked Spider-Man because it's like teenage high school rom-com. That is not the movie we're discussing here, but I just want everyone to know I am trying to catch up in the MCU. I've got the lingo down at least.
She's got the lingo.
So were you into Far From Home right from the get-go?
Yeah. It provided a healthy amount of teenage cringe. You know, like I'm like an awkward adult. I was certainly an awkward teenager, and this really somehow just bottled that essence and released it into the movie theater crowd, which was great, and also like, ugh, like it like gives you like a little bit of like the heebie-jeebies of like how obsessed you get with the people that you like, and how like the whole, like it becomes your top priority just to like, how can I get near that person? How can I sit by them? How can I get them to know?
What is their schedule?
Do they like me? Can I hold hands with them? I want to touch mouths with them.
Oh my god, the hand holding, that was my biggest cringe moment. There's just, I mean, it's not even a spoiler, it's not even anything that you can't know before seeing the movie, but there's one moment where somebody is maybe about to hold hands, and it's that awkward like, what if our hands just touched? Oh my god, wait, can I hold your hand? Are we gonna do that? Are we not gonna hold hands? My heart was beating very fast just for the teenage awkwardness.
Yeah.
The movie did seem it was a very 2019 movie.
Yes.
There were a lot of like, oh, you're ghosting references. Can we, like, are these things I can say?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, talked about ghosting. There was a fake news reference, which kind of like the premise of the movie gets into. It's like, oh, what's real? What's fake?
Yeah.
What will people believe these days? So it's a little depressing on that front.
Yeah. But I think they did a really good job balancing, like you're saying, like, oh, kind of, there's like some bummer stuff, and there's some really like hilarious stuff. So I think they did a really good job of like mixing in some serious emotions that you have to have after seeing something like Endgame, and then like parts that made me literally laugh out loud because they were like awkward or they were silly or, you know, and very well timed, I think.
Did you cry at any point?
No.
No,
And I didn't
okay.
feel like I was going to.
Me neither. Except there were like a couple of heartwarming cries that I almost, like, maybe started a little moisture welling up in my eyeball, but nothing, like, no big, not Endgame. It was definitely not Endgame.
Thank God, because I'm still like emotionally ruined.
I know, I was like, oh god, because I don't think I ever like actually cried during Endgame.
Oh my
There was some
God.
I know, but I know you did, so I was like, oh god, if this is gonna be an emotional
I like
one.
sobbed. Oh, like,
I was ready to hug you if it happened, just so
so
you know.
kind.
I had extra napkins from the popcorn in case we need
I
tissues.
didn't even tear up though, which is not to say that it wasn't good and there wasn't touching
Right.
moments, just it wasn't aggressive.
Yeah. I also liked the character of MJ. Obviously, you're coming at all of these movies from reading the comics and knowing a lot more about the characters. Like, you were already
Sometimes,
excited about
yeah.
her character. She did not have red hair. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know, in the poster she doesn't either, so maybe.
Yeah.
Is that a spoiler? I don't
think
so.
that's a spoiler.
But I really liked her as a character because she wasn't the stereotypical cute teenage girl in the movies that the boy has a crush on. It's like super beautiful and super made up and doesn't look like a teenager. Zendaya looks like a teenager, even though she's probably not at this point, but she did a good job of playing one. And she's just like this badass, like, not the girl that just wants to be told she's beautiful, and that's why she's worth living, you know?
If I could ever relate to like a teenage girl, I feel like I like my favorite, not my favorite, but my often go-to cocktail party like fact that you should know is when you die, if you die in your house, your dog will eat you, no matter how good your dog is. And there's a lot of like,
Wait, what? Oh god. Wow, okay, well, yep, guess I haven't gone to a party with you yet. Wow. So yeah, you are MJ.
So she has like a lot of dark humor, and she you know, they bring up like while they're at historical places, like, did you know so and so got murdered here? Like these weird, like that's like her awkward thing, and I think it's very cute. Yeah. Did a good job of making her sort of different and weird, but not like so weird that you're like, wow, like, oh, she's the weird girl.
Like strong. She's like, I'm weird and I'm strong and I'm unique and I'm cool and sure, maybe I like this boy. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Unique is a good
My
word,
life
yeah.
will go on. I thought she was awesome. So I liked the movie. Would go see it again. You gave it 4 out of 5 radioactive spiders. I'll give it 4.5 radioactive spiders. Maybe, I don't know, lots of radioactive spiders, but they scare me, so not, maybe 4. 4 is a good, I'll stick with 4 with you.
But I think if you're gonna enjoy this movie, you really have to temper your expectations from Endgame, because we've been building up to those Endgame movies for the past decade. And this, while it ties into it, has nothing to do with it. This is the beginning. We're just starting to ramp up again, and I think they did a really good job with that while keeping this movie fun and light. I found myself feeling for Peter, but also laughing at times and cringing at times because I got a little bit of secondhand awkward teenager embarrassment. And we have spent a lot of time with the MCU as people who watch the movies, and if you saw Endgame, I'm sure you have a lot of questions about where the MCU is taking us, but I'm along for the ride. This movie sold me. And while I have your attention, I just want to let you know this weekend, the 29th and the 30th at the DoubleTree Hotel in Portland, Oregon, there will be IndieCon, which is really exciting. It's going to be a collection of Portland creators, comic book creators, people who have published some of your favorite work, I'm sure. So make sure that you check out the website. It'll be in the description box below, so you can get all the details on that. But I'm going, and I'll bring you some footage from there, some interviews. I'm going to talk to some people, but you won't want to miss it. There's creator-on-creator conversations. There's going to be tons of stuff to look at, tons of art, tons of people to talk to. So definitely check it out if you're in the area. And don't forget to let me know what you think about Spider-Man Far From Home, which hits theaters next Tuesday.